Up YouTube, welcome back to the channel for another video. Today we're going to talk about journaling and what to include in your journal, and I'm going to show you guys a quick walkthrough of how I do my journal entries. And I just want to talk about a little bit why journaling is so important. So journaling is really important, especially when you're starting out, because it is the way that it's the key that guides you in trading, right? It's the key that shows you where you can improve at, what you're bad at, what you're struggling with, and it's a self-reflecting guide basically, and just keeps you accountable and shows you where you can get better at, and it'll help you benefit what you need to be doing or what you need to do different in order to be profitable. Every successful trader has done extensive amounts of journaling. I know I didn't like to journal when I first started out, so I just want to shed light on how you can maybe make it easier to journal and how you can go about the process of making sure your journal is in depth. The most profitable trader, or some of the most profitable traders that I've talked to and met, they always tell me make sure you write every single thing down so you can capture all the details you need in order to reflect on the trade you're taking. So with that, I'll just get into the video, and this won't be too long of a video because it's right before the trading session for today, so just going to put this out there. I've already typed this up for you, some things that you can put inside of your journals. Things such as like the date, the day, what time you took the trade at, what session you took, if it's New York session, London session. You want to get these time factors down because you want to understand things like what is your most profitable day, what are you most profitable trading, your most profitable trading in London session, New York session, or Asia session, whatever. You need to understand that if you're trading multiple different assets. You need to see things like the trend, if it's in a bullish or bearish trend. Are you taking trades that are pro-trend trades or counter-trend trades? You need to understand that asset or part of it as well, aspect of it I should say as well. You need to understand your take profit levels, like how much or how big your take profit range is, or your stop loss level. You need to understand your risk to reward ratio, because you need to see if you're risking over a certain amount on average. Let's just say like 5R. If your trade has over 5R, it tends to be a loser. It's an interesting thing to know that fact. So maybe you can change your strategies or your rules and tailor it around your previous journal entries. You need to always include, of course, the reasoning why you took your trade, what confluences you're looking at. If it's, in pro trend, it has a confluence here, it broke this support resistance, whatever your confluences are in your strategy. You need to write down everything you're seeing and why you're taking it, and maybe including things like it's missing this confluence, but I'm still comfortable taking this trade because of this. You need to understand all those reasons and get that down as well. As well as your emotions before, during, and after your trade, especially if you're not profitable yet and you're still taking very emotional trades. You need to be able to document this because it's going to help you realize what you're feeling in the moment and how you can get over that feeling of any like fear or nervousness or anxiousness you're feeling. You need to be able to understand that and document that during your trades so you can see where you need to improve at. Then I'd like to include, of course, like actions during the trade. Like during the trade, if I'm going to scale out or scale in, or if I move my stop loss to break even, I always document that. I sometimes document the time that happened as well, just so I can understand, like, if it's a longer trade, why I did what I did, or, if it's a different trade, I'll just document those different actions. So you need to know if you're going to change your take profit or give yourself a extra scale in or extra positions, or if you're hedging, you need to give yourself some context about why you're doing the things you've done, so when you go back and review, you have everything laid out right there for you. Of course, you need to look at the result of the trade, if it's a win, if it's a loss, or if it's a break even, and you need to. I also like to put the reason why, like, did it hit take profit, did it hit stop loss, did I just close the trade early, or why is the trade over? I put that reason there as well. And then it's optional. You can put, of course, the profit or the percent of return you have, your ROI. So you can put 2%, 10%, $100, $500, $1,000, whatever your profit is. You can put that as well, just for records and comparison and tracking all your trades and tracking, I should say, your progress over a longer period of time, just so you can see what it was. So with that, let's just go through and run through a quick example. I'll do the replay button here for TradingView. Just look at some trades from yesterday. So I actually did take two trades yesterday on the NASDAQ. This is SPX, so it's going to show a little differently. So I'll just go down and we'll just do an example of marking up. So this was pretty much the mirror trade I took for SPX. And for NASDAQ, this did go through. It didn't go through for SPX, so that's okay. I'm just going to journal it and mark it up and show you guys a real example. So what I do is, before I do that, I actually journal on my computer with my notes app, so it's a little easier for me to document everything and just type it off as compared to writing it down in a physical journal. It's different things for different people, so you can, still journal. If you want to write it down, it's still, that might be what helps you better than typing it down. For me, I like to just type it down because it's faster to do while I'm trading, and because I can take screenshots of the charts and see exactly what I'm seeing in the moment. So that's why I prefer to do it that way. It's a little faster, and it's easier to keep them all in one place and then just go through them a lot faster than, and I can sort them easier to like wins, losses, or profit, or anything I want to do like that, or reasons why. So it's easy to sort it all that way. So now let's get into it. So here I'm looking at this would be my entry that had a little accumulation here with this sweep of liquidity, and then distributed up to the upside and took an entry here. So what I would do in this instance, I could replay a little further just to make it look a little more authentic in my journal. So when it gets to about here, after I've entered the trade, right when I enter, I like to take a screenshot with the little camera icon in TradingView. I do the copy image. Then I'll go over to my notes and I'll just paste it there. And I always make sure to try to get the entry as soon as it happens. And then I try to do the actual criteria for the trade. Then so I do like the day or date first. I always do like yesterday was it was February 3rd. And it was a Monday, and this would be in this instance, SPX, but I was going to put NAS, that's what I trade. So this is a SPX trade, and I would put the time, I think it was at 10:50, I think, for the entry around that. Actually, yes, I entered at 10:50 just because that was the time frame the macro open, but it's still the same entry level pretty much. So yeah, I entered in at 10:50. And on NASDAQ, I didn't actually take this SPX trade. The NASDAQ trade went through, this one didn't. So it would have been 10:50 a.m. Of course, it's a New York session. I just put New York session just for reference. And you can put like the type of trade this is, so that can help you understand where in price you're trading. So this would be it's a bullish continuation. And I actually didn't put that. This was a buy, SPX buy. Or you can put buy, long, whatever you want to put for what type of trade it is. I just know that I'm buying this asset, so it's a continuation move because it's not a reversal or a pullback or anything. So I just did its continuation move just for reference. And you want to put things like this. I personally put the stop loss and take profit levels next, and do risk to reward just so I understand those parameters first. So that's 41.92 and 19.64 for that. And the risk to reward was 2.13. So I just put those at the top under like the day, date, and time, and the asset, of course. And then I put the reason usually right below or right here above the entry. So a quick reason it could be there was a M15 sell side liquidity swept. And a lot of bullish pressure. So I took it by continuation. So this is a really short, entry for, reason. Of course, I could put more confluences there, but this is just for example. Like I'm showing you guys, I put my reasoning there right there before the trade. You can, put your reasoning wherever you want. You can put it above this trade, below the trades, however you like to do it. And another thing I do is I always try to capture the trend as well. And I always do like the M15 trend, so I just, go to the M15, zoom out a little bit so I can understand the context. And I think it's important to just put at least one higher time frame than where you took your trade on, just so you understand where price is at in a larger scale. And I just put it below. You can see it's on the M15, and just get a little more context here. See these sweeps of liquidity down there in the large time frame, so you can see what you're seeing in that moment. And of course, some people like to put the higher time, like the 4 hour or the daily time frame, just so you can see where price is at and get an idea about, more context about what you were looking at, what you were thinking of. And yeah, that's mostly what I would capture in that part so far. And then I would let the trade play through. And in this instance, this would be a good journaling experience because I actually took a hedge for this on the NASDAQ. And so it lost on this one, but it didn't lose on the NASDAQ. So I'll just pretend this is the NASDAQ. So I actually took a hedge based on this move. So you can go and do things like this. We'll just pretend this is a loss on the SPX. I didn't take this trade, so we'll just pretend that this was you're in this trade still, and it's a live trade. And then we'll say, okay, I'll copy that image right there to get the entry, and I'll mark it down below the original trade. I'll put like, okay, hedge. I'll make it a title. I usually put like a little breaker that separates like two separate trades. Then you would go through and, you know, put the stop loss, the take profit. I'd recommend putting the time too as well. So like 11:59 for the entry. SPX sell 11:59. Of course, you put AM just to let you know it's New York session. You put sell, risk, reward, and then reasoning right here, and then of course you document the trades, and you can see when they go through. So in this case, in the NASDAQ case at least, the hedge ended up losing, and then the buy ended up going through. But this is just SPX. So for the journaling purpose, I'm just going to demonstrate how I would do it. I would just go through it at the bottom of the journal, at the bottom of the trend, and put loss, so I can easily identify it's win or loss. I usually highlight it, maybe underline it, so I can easily identify. Then you can put like your profit. You say, okay, -1%. You can do minus whatever you want to do, $100, $500, whatever the actual net equity is for that, or profit is for that. So you can put either of those, and then you may be able to go under and put some reasoning. Okay, what did I do differently, or what did I do wrong? Let us have like the wrong bias, or is it a valid loss? Or you can just put a quick note to see if you did anything wrong or anything you could do different. If you didn't follow a rule or anything, you could see here and just note it there at the bottom about why you lost or why you won. Maybe if you just won, it's just a good trade, good execution. So you could just put good execution and just go to the next trade. But that's typically how I would document all my trades and journal those in a really short sense. Of course, I left out some things with the confluences and the reasoning why, but we have pretty much every step here about why we do it, like the reason behind. We have the risk reward, stop loss, take profit. I didn't include the trend. Well, I did a little bit. Sell side sweep liquidity, but you can put like the trend here. Okay, say it's an uptrend on the higher time frame, like the daily, 4 hour, 1 hour. It's an uptrend currently. We have things like the session up here, the date, the day, the time. We have our actions. We took a hedge. It's documented there. I did not include the emotions before, during, or after, which I actually highly recommend. I don't do it now because I think my emotions are pretty much in check, but you should probably do that above your reasoning. So you just do like your emotions during, we do emotions before, and we'll do emotions after. So you can say, okay, before, maybe you're calm and patient. Maybe you just had, you know, tea or just ate breakfast, so you're feeling calm. Now during, you're feeling a little anxious because you risked more, maybe, or risked more than normal, we'll say. And then after, you're feeling, let's say, relieved to be out of the trade, which you shouldn't be feeling any of those. You should just feel calm straight through the whole way, before, during, and after. You shouldn't be risking more. You should just have a very disciplined, same setup, and just be going through the trades very even mannered and even very mild and calm. So, but it's important to document those things so you can see what's causing that anxiousness or nervousness, because you risked a little more than normal. So you can easily pinpoint these things whenever you're feeling a little different in trading. It's important to write it down and see and reflect. So with that, that's pretty much it. I'm going to make another video explaining about my trade setups yesterday probably. So I'll see you guys in the next video. This is how I personally, things that I include in my own journal, and the things that I know that other people include in their journals as well, as far as at least taking a setup and not doing like other things like rules, strategy, affirmation. This is like how I would actually document a trade per se for myself in my computer notes. At least you can do the same thing in your own journal if you actually write it down, but this is how I think it's the best way to do it, so you can fully see everything in details and just get those screenshots with the camera image on TradingView. So that's what I recommend. I'll see you guys next video. Make sure you like and subscribe and check out more content on the channel.